think some people took a step back, but that's just the nature of our sport. But let's just open it up.
Hi Scott, I just want to wish you another successful event here at Madison Square Garden. That's amazing for Bellator and for martial arts in New York City. I'm Phoenix, Carter Valley, I'm from everything martial arts. A couple questions for you. First, were you aware that this could possibly be Chael Sonnen's last fight? Was that something that you thought could possibly happen tonight?
No, I was actually caught off guard, and you know, he's been such a pleasure to work with, and what a great guy and great family man. You know, it was something I think that he decided if he lost the fight or didn't work out that he would probably retire, but we had no idea. And you know, it was a pleasure to promote him, and he'll always be part of the family, part of the broadcast team, and he'll have a home here at Bellator.
The second thing is that it's really amazing to see cross promotion, and we know that scheduling and marketing and markets are such a big part of when fights happen. So what happens for this division now, and when will Horiguchi come back to defend this belt?
Yeah, my agreement with Sakibara was that once a year Horiguchi will come and fight and defend his Bellator belt. But that doesn't mean we can't send fighters over there to fight in the ring and fight for the Rising belt. And I think that it gives us a little bit of time to, you know, have a couple more fights for our guys and you know, get in there and you know, try to get that belt back here on USL.
Last question for you is, you know, DC originally had talked about how much the ring and the cage and the difference had affected him. Can you give us a little bit of your thoughts on what went wrong for him in this fight?
You know, it was an interesting fight. It was tactical. I think that he was controlling him, but you know, controlling and then doing damage is two different things. And really, in this business, I feel like, as far as like a martial arts fighter or as a fan, controlling is one thing, right? But you have to advance your position, continue to advance your position to go for the submission or go for the knockout. And that's really what the end goal is. So I'm not sure if DC got tired or what, but at some point his controlling just became control, and it wasn't any damage. So I think the judges looked at that saying, hey, he's just, you know, it's almost like stalling. So they gave Horiguchi the rounds.
Question for Juan.
Yo.
Right over here. You called out Horiguchi after you won, and Mr. Coker just said he didn't mind. He wouldn't mind sending some guys over there. So do you want to be the first one to go over there and go after the Rising belt?
Sounds like I'm jumping on a plane in October and going out there with Pitbull.
Is that, you like the sound of that?
Well, you know, it's again, you know, timing's an issue. And listen, I would love to have us fight on all their cards, but I don't know what they have, you know, in their plans, because Sakibara and I have not talked about like who's on the card and what's. But if there's an opportunity for Juan to go over there and fight, listen, we'll take it in a second.
Question back.
For you, Dylan, right up here.
Oh.
Yeah, just, you know, longer fight than the first time around. I'm sure that cage experience helped you out a lot. Just how'd you feel about the performance tonight compared to the first time around?
I like the experience in there a little bit. I think it was kind of fun to like hit someone 100% too, like just go all out. So they kind of got me like in a weird mindset where I started going crazy and hitting them, and then I heard my coach say like jiu-jitsu, and then I kind of like switched back to like myself. But it was a good experience to kind of like feel that, because like the ref was saying I'm going to stop it, so I got all crazy, and then the guy had a second wind, and I felt like I was a little tired, so I was like, all right, you know what, you can't just go crazy with that. I was like, you're smarter than that. You watch MMA your whole life. Like, why'd you do that? So I feel like it was a good experience.
What's the best way to bring him along?
You know, I think for Dylan, we would like to get him back in as soon as he's healthy and ready to go. And really, frequency, I think, for these young athletes. And when I say young, you know, it's young in the cage, fighting in the cage for Bellator, because it's different. It's not like you're fighting on a jiu-jitsu mat and somebody's punching you in the face and someone's trying to hurt you. And so, you know, it's a different energy in there. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. But for Dylan, I think that he's got a great career ahead of him. I think that he's proved himself or proved to us that he can do it. And I think it's just frequency, repetition that will take him to the next level.
just last thing for me, can you speak to Aaron Pico's loss? I mean, I think everyone knew Adam Warwick's no joke, and he came in, Pico showed his wrestling though, he kind of, mixed up the game plan from what we've seen, but got caught with a big shot. Did you speak to him after the fight and anything like that?
Yeah, I didn't speak to him after the fight. I'll give him a day or two to get back home and rest up. I'm sure he wasn't in the mood to talk to anybody, but there's a kid that had a great game plan. I think Jackson had a solid thought in how they're going to fight this kid, and for the most part he did great. And then he just made one mistake. He got hit. He got it, and then then you guys saw the rest. So that's MMA. That can happen to anybody. So it's just part of the business. Now I do feel like this though. Don't count this kid out. Aaron Pico, he is learning how to do this, and he's fought some tough guys. And like he said, look, I can wrestle and I can box, but I'm still learning how to fight. So we're gonna have a conversation with him in a couple weeks, see what he wants to do. But maybe it's time to take a big step back before he starts moving forward again.
Dylan, question for you. You fought your last 2 fights at 175. That's a catchweight. Is the plan to go down to welterweight, or is the plan to move up to middleweight?
I kind of like doing the Dylan Dennis way. I kind of want all the guys to come and fight me, so if I could do it, why not? Make my own weight division. Everybody wants to do it, but they can't, so I think it's pretty cool. But I can make 170. I think eventually one day I'll make 155. I don't even care about the weight classes or anything. I said I would fight Ryan Bader. I don't care. I came from jiu-jitsu where you fight anybody 7 times in one day, so size doesn't matter. I mean, man, it's like, just fucking do it.
Scott, you just mentioned that you signed Fedor to a long-term contract. He was originally scheduled to face Josh Barnett years ago. The fight fell through. They're both under your banner. It's been a long time since both these guys have the same banner. Any chance you match them 2 up?
That's definitely one of the names that we have approached Fedor, and he's fine with it. That'll be a timing issue. I'm not sure if that's going to be the very first fight, but I think we have a great roster that he can fight. And to me, I think of Rampage Jackson versus Fedor. I think of Josh Barnett. There's a couple other fighters out there that just come to my mind, but I mean, it's a multi-fight deal, multi-year, and then this is going to be his retirement tour. And I think that we'd like to take him to a lot of countries and cities that maybe haven't seen him in a long time, or have never seen him. And it's going to be fun when we roll this thing out.
You mentioned you wanted James Gallagher next. If you don't get that fight, is the featherweight tournament something you'd be interested in throwing your hat to the ring for?
No, I'm interested in staying at bantamweight, to be honest with you. I make the weight pretty easy, and I'm trying to climb to the top of the division myself.
Cheers, thank you.
How's it going? First question's for Patrick. You were a guy that was one of the most highly touted prospects on the regional scene. You were constantly campaigning on social media to get signed by a big promotion. I guess my first question is, what took so long? I mean, we saw what happened tonight. What made you sign with Bellator? Why did you choose them?
When I got offered, I felt like Bellator was the best decision. My manager, Ali, he sent me a few different choices, and I liked the Bellator route. I liked how the bantamweight division looked, and I liked how I could build. So when I got offered Ricky, I was very excited to, really make my mark here.
And you went out there. You went out there and got the quick win. I mean, do you feel like you're jumping? No pun intended. You're jumping right in the mix here at 135 pounds. I know sometimes prospects need to build, but I mean, you've won 11 pro fights, 10 amateur fights. I mean, you feel like you're a couple fights away from the title shot at this point?
Yeah, I won 11 as an amateur, 11 as a pro, 22 straight, and I'm not really a prospect anymore. I feel like I'm right in the mix here, just like you said, and I deserved to be here a long time ago, so I really made the most out of my opportunity here.
My next question is for Juan. Juan, you just said that you want Horiguchi next. If he is out for a while, if he is defending his rising belt, is there anybody else that you would, any other names out there that you would want?
No, step your ass up, man. I'm here. You have my belt. You have the Bellator belt. Who else is he gonna fight in Japan? You tell me. Who else comes to mind with a 18 fight win streak now? Just dominating in and out of every fight I've been in. Only lost 1 round in my whole career. only been taken down once in my whole career. Who else is he going to fight that's going to bring some excitement to the table?
My last question is for Scott. Scott, you're always one to explore options, think of new ideas. Seeing Kyoji Horiguchi tonight, smaller, very exciting fighter. The UFC's been cutting a lot of their flyweights. Have you ever thought about bringing in a men's flyweight division into Bellator? Is that something that you've explored at all?
You know what? We've talked about it, but we haven't, taken any action, obviously. And I think that for right now we're going to focus on the divisions we have. We're very excited about the finals of the welterweight tournament, and we're very excited about the launch of the featherweight tournament. So we're going to have our hands full with these events. And this is a company, when I came on board, I think we're doing like 14, 15 events a year. Next year, we're going to end up being 30 events worldwide, and could grow to 40 very easily, depending on certain television deals we're working on. Again, this is a company that's owned by Viacom, which has networks all over the world, and is a media company all over the world. So, we have a lot of requests to come to different territories, start doing big fights like we're doing here. So we're going to have our hands full, and if at some point, we felt like it was something we wanted to do, we'd really think it through, because I don't want to be jumping in and out of different weight classes.
Question for Juan. Where would you rank this win in your career? You have several wins, but obviously you're a winner or a former world champion. Is this the best win in your career?
Yeah, I said it before, this was the biggest fight of my life. Two-time champion, never fought anyone that had those type of accolades for Bellator before.
And how much would you attribute your recent success with training with someone like TJ Dillashaw, championship caliber?
TJ Cub, Joe Daddy Stevenson, Tiki Gosen, Paul Herrera, and everyone else I trained with, they've helped me grow tremendously, and you've seen it in just my Bellator fights alone. We're title ready. They've been helping me out my whole careers since the beginning. I've taken their advice, I applied it to my career, and look where it's got me right now.
And a question for Dylan Dennis. Dylan, you survived the Drake curse. How does that feel?
Yeah, I was a little worried about it before, and you asked me, I was like, oh shit, you keep reminding me, but no, like I said, man, there's no fucking such thing as curses and all that. But I feel like it's kind of cool to be the first person to kind of debunk it, so yeah, it's pretty cool.
And one last one. I know you were in suspension, and you told me that was killing you because you couldn't compete.
Yeah.
What can we expect from you in 2019? How busy are you looking to stay?
I'm fine now. I wouldn't mind to go again, like next weekend. Doesn't matter. I'm used to competing in jiu-jitsu almost every weekend, so yeah, just keep going. Finally get the suspension past me, and just keep doing it.
If Toronto won, doesn't that make them the second?
Yeah, probably.
Combat sports.
All right.